fall off. He kept on falling off in Mitch's car, eh? Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to Joe's debrief for Bloody D Club. Cheers. For me, Matsuri went really well. Tried a few different tyres on the, never done this before, this is a bit shit, for the rear. Tried the Zek Novas, fucking tops, thank you Damo. Tried some Ginus as well. They were not the best, but hey, they did the job. Yeah, it's not really too much to say, to be honest. The SR, best motor in the world, went flawlessly again. Gearbox is, I don't know if it's a release bearing, it probably is, but that's kind of on its way out. I lost a rear bumper. Thank you, Vince, you fucking top-notch guy, for peer pressuring me into that, you fucking guy, Jesus. But yeah, Matsuri overall was fun. I had a good time. Not too sure about Ash's outcome. I guess you get to see that next. Ruben was much of the same. But yeah, JZ should have stuck with the silver, shouldn't he? Hey? Hey, tell him. So I don't know when the next time I'm really going to be driving is. Might be Wholesome World. But I've got to get bumpers and stuff painted for that, otherwise they'll probably frown upon me. Probably do anyway, because of the height. I think there's a Matsuri coming up, maybe, am I right? Hampton? Someone can tell me, I don't know. The boys will probably peer pressure me into driving that anyway, I don't know. Should really do some more maintenance on it. I haven't done anything in ages, just been doing bolt checks and whatnot, but really need to get the injectors cleaned. That's about it, really. God's motor. Don't need anything. Ash is probably going to talk now, so have fun with that. Cheers, boys.
All right. So, back for another debrief kind of thing. As always, we got a bit carried away driving and then didn't pick up the camera all weekend at Matsuri. So I think we're about 7 weeks after the event. We're stuck in lockdown again here in New Zealand, so got a lot of time in our hands. Yeah, so the other boys, Ruben and Joe, have done their own little rundowns of how the event went, so you figured we'd get one done on the Sylvia. Last time we probably saw my car on the channel, I smashed it into the wall at Hampton Downs, so spent a bit of time not really doing anything with it, to be honest. I was waiting on one of the boys, old man, to get it fixed for me, which he did. So it's all straightened out now. I don't really know if you can see. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so it's one piece. We just did like a bit of a quick repair on the front guard here, and then I fiberglassed up the bonnet and the bumper. It came down to something like 2 weeks before the event, before Matsuri, when I decided to drive, and so I literally spent every waking moment trying to get the thing back together and glassed, and so it's not the prettiest. Kind of see right there. You can still see the fiberglass because I haven't sanded it back. I just kind of give it a quick black spray paint and just so it looks good from far. Headlights are all mint and new again. Both of them got fucking reamed in the crash. Corner lights got reamed. We'll see if I can get a photo of the engine bay. Oh, there we go. So, there you go. All back together. Different radiator support, as you can see. We couldn't track down a driver's side, like, I guess, headlight panel, the piece underneath the vertical piece behind the radiator support. So Zach's dad straightened that all out for me. So it's not like, probably not really like street. Like if I took it for a warrant, they probably aren't going to be too stoked. Just because I didn't bother getting him to repair my my tubs and stuff, because they got a bit crumpled. But it looks pretty good, and it's way straighter. In fact, it's pretty funny. His dad was telling me that when he measured it all up, it was like 15 or 20 mil out. Because obviously, I think it's been in a few crashes before this car, before I owned it. Yeah, so now it's actually way straighter. But yeah, that's pretty much it. The car ran real good the whole weekend at Matsuri. Didn't have any issues. I tried to get a warrant of fitness, which is, if you're not in New Zealand or Australia, it's like to show that it's safe to drive on the road. I was trying to get one of those, but that fell through, so we just ended up carpool, like kind of sharking it down, and I drove between a bunch of the boys of the trailers and just hoped it didn't get pulled over, and I didn't, so yeah, that was alright. Yeah, the event went pretty good. Car went real good. It was real cold, so I mean, Ruben's probably going to say the same thing. It was really hard to get any sort of heat into the tyres at all. So I struggled with a lot of understeer. And it had been, I think, something like 6 months since I'd last driven. So I felt a bit rusty. It kind of came back to me, but I still got a lot of things to work on. Keep letting go of the fucking steering wheel, and I need to fix that. I don't know how I'm going to do that. I'll chain my hands to the steering wheel or something. I managed to get Saturday, like a whole day of Saturday. I think I did, at one point I did like over an hour of driving. Obviously there was some cool downs and stuff, but just non-stop, which was pretty sweet. I think it was like 2.5, maybe 3 hours of drifting on the Saturday. And then the gearbox started to get a little bit crunchy on the drive home. So we stayed in town in Taupo, and yeah, I did like 3 or 4 laps on the Sunday, and then third gear exploded, which I kind of thought might happen. This gearbox was, like, when I put it in, was a little bit notchy into third anyway, and I think I've done, like, I put it in for animal style for the event we did here with the boys from America. So I did like, I don't know, 6-7 track days, which isn't too bad considering I run 265s, and then this car doesn't make huge power, so I kick the clutch a lot. But yeah, it was real fun. I didn't really tandem much. I just mostly like focused on solo driving, which is kind of seems to be the thing I do a lot lately, because I'm more focused on getting better than I am on trying to tandem. I think that's something maybe I'll look at later on down the track. But for now, I need to get the gearbox out and then put the Z32 box in that I bought quite a while ago and keep saying I'm going to put in. So I might actually get to pulling the box out while we're in this lockdown. It all depends really. I've been doing a lot of decorating around the house, and I kind of like that more than working on cars. So. I've also got like a stack of parts to put on the car. I've got cams, Taupo pong cams to put in it, injectors, Taupo head gasket. It's there. There's my adapter plate that Troy from TJM got made for me. There we go. Here's some of the bits. Couple of valve springs, Alpi head studs. Oh, yeah. There's quite a few things that I've got to put in the car, which I don't know, I might do while we're in lockdown. We'll see. I'm like debating whether or not to do it, or whether just to wait. I'm saving up to get married. Sarah and I, my partner, got engaged at the beginning of the year, and things are kind of spiraling out of control with the costs on that. So at the moment, all my money's going into saving up for that, which is in May next year. So that's probably going to get more importance over like more engine mods or painting, because the car really needs a good paint job now. Like the front bumper's still fucked looking, and the rear guard still hasn't been painted for like years since Zach's old man fixed that. So I might just wait until after we're married, and then I can blow loads of money on the car. Depends if I put a kid in it. But yeah, that's pretty much it really. There's not really much else to go over really. I haven't touched the car since I got back from Matsuri. So it's like still pretty and still got chewed out tires in the rear and everything. I got so burnt out working on it that I just didn't want anything to do with cars for a little bit, which is, I don't know, I'm starting to get interested in it again, so it would be fun to go do some more driving. I believe there's another Matsuri event, like a special stage kind of thing, which is happening in beginning of October, so maybe I'll pull finger and get the gearbox sorted for then if we're not still in lockdown. It's just a matter of finding out when we're going to get out. So that'd be fun. I think Ruben's going to come up from where he lives now and bring the Mark II, and then I'd imagine Joe will drive, or if he doesn't, we'll peer pressure him into it. Yeah, so that should be fun. I'd say I might do that event and then maybe like one or two more before the end of the year, and then I'll call it so that I can really get savings so we can throw this frickin' wedding party and have a good time. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You'll probably watch some videos of me throwing my hands in the air like Neil deGrasse Tyson, and some cool clips from Pierce. So thanks, mate. Really appreciate you standing out there in the freezing cold and taking cool videos of us driving. It's pretty rad of you, especially because you just send us the clips. That's ultra sweet. Yeah, I think that's it. See you soon.
Yo, so a bit of a rundown from us all in this video. Hopefully you're still hanging in there for the end. Yeah, so my Matsuri was pretty average, to be honest. The car had a few issues throughout most of Saturday, which sort of made things a little difficult. First one was we'd put this new twin plate clutch in from Brendan, 9 3/4 Tilton twin plate thing, sprung centre, awesome clutch. But there was something not quite right with the clutch engagement, so it was really hard to get into first gear as stationary. So it was a real push, and I actually broke the gear knob on Saturday trying to get it into first gear, waiting out in the queue on track. So that was exciting. So that was one of the things. That's something we just couldn't sort out on the day. So that was the biggest pain in the butt. And then just a series of stupid little things, really. Myself, prior to the event, I replaced the fuel tank. The original fuel tank was quite rusty inside. I found a replacement locally here off a chap, and stupidly I didn't clean it out. I had a look inside. It looked clean, but you know, like fuel tanks, when they've been sitting a little while, they'll get that kind of powdery effect on the inside. So once the ethanol was in there, it really cleaned out the tank. Subsequently, it really clogged up the filter. So that actually happened here at home the day before I loaded up, and I cleaned it out. I noticed, because you know the Holtec dash showed fuel pressure being low, so I sort of cleaned it out, got fuel pressure back to sort of normal numbers, took it for a drive. It seemed okay, but got to the track, and obviously first session out, it started sort of coughing and farting a bit more. So I brought it back in, cleaned it out. I had to do it twice to clean the fuel filter out. But that got sorted out. Then I had issues with the starter system. I'd sort of jerry-rigged up the starter. It's a bit of a pain. This thing has like an inhibitor from factory, and there's still a bunch of the factory wiring in here. And had to bypass some of the stuff down in the passenger footwell there, just jumping the signal wire from the key to the starter, and eventually that just blew out the power feed to the main relay under the engine, under the bonnet. So there's no power going to that relay, and that was just because of keying on and keying off, waiting in line, because the lines on Saturday were pretty atrocious. So there's a lot of strain on the ignition system just because of that. So thankfully Brendan Dunker was there. He was sort of pitted with us. He was there with Nick and Taryn, and he managed to sort that out for me, even with his broken ass back. Felt terrible because he just had a major back surgery, and he was crawling around the passenger footwell trying to sort this stuff out for me. But I really appreciate him helping me out with that. It was awesome. So once got that sorted, the rest of the day was pretty good, and by day I mean the last couple of hours of the day. I think from about 3:30 on Saturday onwards, the car actually felt pretty good. Had a couple of, got in the tandem line with Nick and Taryn and a few with the Go-Go boys, and managed to talk Mitch into getting in the tandem line as well, which was cool. Mitch owns the orange S13 that you've seen in the footage. That's Ben Jenkins' old car, S13, pretty grunty SR20 in it. Went down to the South Island for a stint with Sean Benema, and then it's come back up here under Mitch's ownership. So yeah, it was good to have him down there with us. That was his first time driving Taupo. So yeah, it was rad to have him come down and stay with us and stuff like that. Sunday, it was so cold. Man, it was cold on Sunday. So I had a bunch of little things sort of happen. The car sort of seemed like it was running well, but I couldn't get heat into the front tyres, it seems. Had a lot of sledging and all sorts of stuff, and I just had no front grip whatsoever. So brought the car in, had a squiz, and one of the tie rod pickups to the knuckle was loose, sort of flopping around. The issue is it uses a Honda Stream tie rod end, and they've got quite a long sort of shaft on them, I guess, out of the ball joint. So when you wind the nut on, the crown nut winds way past the hole for the cotter pin. So it had just sort of wound its way out and was just sort of flopping around. And so I'd basically been struggling with that the whole day. The lines on Sunday were mean, so you could basically sort of go in and out pretty easily. But I was sort of struggling with that until I finally pulled it off and had a look. So yeah, tightened that up, and then went out and still having issues getting heat in the tyres. So I pretty much just gave up on Sunday. I didn't want to sort of push it, and couldn't really do anything about the tyres. Like it was really hard. I'd go out and come back in after lapping, trying to do like 10 laps, and the tyres were ice cold, like still like freezing. It was so weird. So I don't know, these were the Zek Nova RS606, the R1 model, so like a 140 tread wear. But yeah, just couldn't get any heat in them. But yeah, anyway, excuses. I've got some Kenda KR20As to try on the front now, which I'll try for the next event. Next event probably be the special stage at Hamptons on the October 9, which happens to be my birthday, which is pretty cool. So yeah, we'll definitely be talking Joe into going, and Ash. Hopefully, we'll get his he can get his gearbox sorted out by then. Bit of a pain now that I live 4 hours away in New Plymouth. I can't go and give the boys a hand to get stuff prepped, but relatively easy job. I'm sure it'll be fine. So yeah, next event should be that Zero Class special stage at Hamptons. Pretty keen to drive the big track with this car. Done a few things since Matsuri. I filmed this, obviously you heard, but this was filmed, we're in lockdown here in New Zealand at the moment. So yeah, I've just been doing stuff to this car that I hadn't actually planned on doing for a while, but yeah, we've done a few bits and bobs, bit of weight removal, and I've got some new suspension that I'll put in, which I'll put in another video. But yeah, cheers for watching. Thanks heaps to Pierce from Garage Ponies for all the action footage. All of the on-track stuff that you see outside the car was provided by him. Obviously, when all three of us are driving, we've got no one filming. So yeah, really appreciate it, Pierce. Thanks heaps for that footage, mate. Absolute legend. And yeah, we'll see you in the next video.